Welcome to today's podcast. If you're looking for ways to learn English by yourself, you've come to the right place. Khuram, I know you have a lot of great tips to share. Let's jump right in.
Absolutely, Amira. Learning English on your own can be challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding. We'll share some actionable tips and inspiring stories today to keep you motivated.
Tip number 1. Listen to English every day. Start by listening to English daily. Whether it's a podcast, audiobook, or news broadcasts in English, listening helps you get used to the natural flow of the language. Over time, you'll start picking up pronunciation, new vocabulary, and sentence structures. Even listening to music or watching TV shows in English will help reinforce what you've learned.
For beginners, I recommend starting with simple listening exercises. You can slow down the playback speed of podcasts or audiobooks to make it easier to follow along. Apps like Spotify and Audible allow you to adjust the speed, so take advantage of that. Listening regularly will help you familiarize yourself with the sounds and rhythm of English.
Tip number 2. Speak even if no one's around. It's important to practice speaking, even when you're by yourself. You can talk to yourself, describe what you're doing, or narrate your day out loud in English. This helps build your confidence and speaking skills. And don't worry about being perfect, just speak as much as you can.
That's right, Amira. Shadowing is another fantastic technique. This involves listening to a native speaker and repeating their words immediately after them. It's one of the best ways to work on your pronunciation and fluency. Over time, it will feel more natural, and you'll notice that you're speaking more confidently.
Tip number 3. Write every day. Make it a habit to write in English every day. This could be as simple as journaling about your day, writing emails, or even creating short stories. Writing helps you remember new words and grammar structures. It also gives you the opportunity to practice your sentence formation and spelling.
And when it comes to writing, don't worry about making mistakes at first. Use tools like Grammarly to help you along the way. It's important to get used to writing in English, whether it's simple journal entries or even social media posts. The more you practice, the easier it gets.
Tip number 4. Set realistic goals. Setting small, achievable goals is key to staying motivated. For example, aim to learn 5 new words a day or write a short paragraph each week. These manageable goals will help you track your progress and avoid feeling overwhelmed. Tip number 5.
I love the idea of using your hobbies to learn. It makes the process fun and engaging. For example, if you love cooking, you can try following recipes in English. Or if you're into video games, play with English-speaking players or switch the game language to English. This way, you're learning naturally through something you enjoy.
Tip number 5. Immerse yourself in English. Surround yourself with English as much as possible. Change the language on your phone, watch movies and shows in English, and follow English-speaking social media accounts. Immersion helps you become familiar with the language and its usage in everyday situations.
I completely agree with you, Amira. It's essential to set realistic goals when learning a new language. Start small and celebrate your progress. You could aim to learn 10 new words a week, or perhaps understand a short English video without subtitles. These milestones will keep you motivated as you see your improvement.
Tip number 6. Practice with shadowing. Shadowing is a technique where you repeat what you hear immediately after a speaker. Choose a podcast or YouTube video in English, pause it after each sentence, and repeat what was said. This will help you improve your pronunciation, fluency, and understanding of sentence structure.
And yes, mistakes are a part of the journey. Don't let the fear of making mistakes stop you from practicing. The more mistakes you make, the more you learn. Even native speakers make errors sometimes, but communication is what matters most. Just focus on expressing yourself clearly.
Tip number 7. Use English in your hobbies. Find ways to incorporate English into activities you already enjoy. If you like cooking, try following recipes in English. If you're into gaming, switch your game settings to English and play with English-speaking players. This way, learning becomes fun and relevant to your interests.
There's something powerful about engaging with English-speaking communities. Whether online or in person, joining language exchange groups can be incredibly helpful. Websites like Reddit or apps like HelloTalk allow you to practice with others and get real-time feedback, which is invaluable for improving your skills.
Tip number 8. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. One of the most important tips is to embrace mistakes. It's a natural part of the learning process. Don't be afraid to make errors while speaking or writing, just focus on communicating your message. The more you practice, the fewer mistakes you'll make in the future.
Using flashcards is a brilliant way to build your vocabulary. Whether you create your own or use apps like Anki, flashcards help with remembering words and phrases. And since they use spaced repetition, they are perfect for ensuring that the words stick in your long-term memory.
Tip number 9. Engage in online communities. Join online forums or groups where you can practice English with other learners or native speakers. Platforms like Reddit, language exchange websites, or even Facebook groups can be great places to ask questions, share experiences, and practice your skills in real time.
Changing the language settings on your phone and devices is an easy and effective way to immerse yourself in English. You'll encounter English daily in notifications, apps, and menus, which helps reinforce what you've learned.
Tip number 10. Use flashcards to build vocabulary. Flashcards are an excellent tool for memorizing vocabulary. Whether you make your own or use an app like Anki or Quizlet, flashcards help reinforce words and their meanings. Using spaced repetition can ensure you remember new vocabulary in the long term. Tip number 11.
And don't forget to work on your pronunciation. English pronunciation can be tricky, but with practice, you'll improve. There are tons of online resources for practicing pronunciation, like Forvo, where you can listen to native speakers pronounce words. I recommend practicing with these tools regularly.
Change your environment to English. If possible, change the language of all your devices and apps to English. This constant exposure to the language in everyday contexts will help reinforce what you're learning, and you'll start thinking in English as you go about your day.
Consistency is key. Even if you're busy, try to dedicate just 15 to 30 minutes a day to studying. Small, consistent practice is more effective than cramming. Over time, you'll start seeing real improvements, and you'll feel more comfortable using English in different situations.
Tip number 12. Focus on pronunciation. Pronunciation can be challenging, but it's essential for communication. Listen carefully to how native speakers pronounce words, and try to imitate their sounds. There are many apps and websites that can help you with pronunciation, such as Forvo or Youglish.
Rewarding yourself when you hit milestones is essential for keeping the motivation alive. Whether it's treating yourself to something small like a favorite snack or watching an English movie, celebrating your progress will help you stay positive about your learning journey.
Tip number 13. Be consistent. Consistency is the key to language learning. Even if you can only practice for 15 minutes a day, make sure to do it every day. Over time, these small efforts will add up, and you'll see significant improvement. It's better to study a little every day than to cram all at once.
Reading aloud is another great way to practice both speaking and listening skills. Choose an article, book, or even a TED Talk transcript and read it aloud. This improves fluency, pronunciation, and helps you get more comfortable with the language.
Tip number 14. Reward yourself for milestones. It's important to celebrate your progress. Whether you've learned 100 new words or completed an English book, reward yourself for the hard work. This will keep you motivated and make your learning experience more enjoyable. Treat yourself to something small, a movie night or a special snack, every time you reach a milestone.
TED Talks are an excellent resource for learners. They cover diverse topics, feature different accents, and provide subtitles. Listening to speakers talk about various subjects will not only improve your English but also expand your knowledge on interesting topics.
Tip number 15. Read aloud. Reading aloud is a powerful way to improve both your speaking and listening skills. Pick a book, article, or even a news story, and read it out loud. This helps with pronunciation, fluency, and builds your confidence. It's also a great way to practice intonation and rhythm in speech. Tip number 16. Watch TED Talks. TED Talks are a great resource for learning English. They feature speakers from all over the world, discussing interesting topics and using diverse vocabulary. Listening to TED Talks can improve your listening comprehension, and the subtitles are often available to follow along. Tip number 17. Make a language learning plan. It's helpful to create a language learning plan with specific objectives. This could be mastering a certain grammar topic, expanding your vocabulary, or being able to hold a conversation. Having clear goals will give you direction and help you stay on track. Tip number 18. Practice with a language partner. If you can find a language partner either online or in person, take advantage of the opportunity to practice conversation. Speaking with someone who is also learning English, or a native speaker, will help you feel more comfortable and improve your fluency. Tip number 19. Watch movies with subtitles. Watching movies in English with subtitles in your native language or English can be an effective way to learn. You'll get used to the flow of natural conversations and pick up new words. Pay attention to expressions, slang, and idiomatic phrases that native speakers commonly use. Tip number 20. Use mobile apps for learning. There are a ton of language learning apps available, like Duolingo, Babbel, or Memrise. These apps make learning interactive and fun, offering lessons, games, and quizzes to reinforce your skills. You can use them anywhere, which makes it easy to fit language learning into your daily routine. Here are even shorter meanings for the words.
Feedback, helpful comments. Repetition, repeating. Confidence, self-belief. App, software. Grammar, language rules. Communicate, share info. Goal, target. Journaling, writing thoughts. Subtitles, text captions. Practice, repeated action.
Immerse, involve deeply. Fluency, smooth speaking. Shadowing, imitating speech. Pronunciation, correct speech. Consistency, regular practice. Mistakes, errors. Milestones, key steps. Vocabulary, words. Engage, participate. Realistic, achievable.
These words and phrases represent important concepts and actions that can help you learn English and improve your skills.
And that's a wrap for today. We hope these tips help you on your journey to learning English. Remember, consistency is key, and enjoy the process.
Having a learning plan is important. By breaking down your goals into smaller tasks, like mastering a specific grammar point or learning a set number of new words, you'll feel more organized and focused. A clear plan makes the journey much easier and less overwhelming.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time with more tips to help you reach your language goals.
Lastly, if possible, try to find a language partner. You can practice speaking with a native speaker or another learner. There are many language exchange apps, like Tandem or Speaky, where you can connect with people from all over the world. Practicing with someone else will build your confidence and improve your fluency.
Remember, learning English is a journey, not a race. Stay consistent, make it fun, and don't be afraid to make mistakes along the way. You're making progress with every step you take. Keep up the great work, and we'll see you next time on our podcast.